live. We are live, you beautiful wonders, you beautiful stars, you shining, shining lights. I am Courtney, host of Stars of the Morning Light. This is such a random video, guys. It really is. And I am just making sure all things are live and intact and everything's rocking and rolling. Okay. So I am never here on Tuesdays, and it is Tuesday at almost 11 Eastern Standard Time. Um, but I wanted to get this message out. Um, I lost scope. I lost scope, which happens. I'm not going to speak poorly of myself in a judgment way. Um, I lost scope as far as in, I'm sorry, guys, I'm making sure everything is working. Um, There we go. There I am. Thank you. Jeez. Um, Quite a long delay there. So I hope we're all on the same page. Um, I actually received, it's interesting. I actually received some emails, some texts of like, oh, your last couple of videos, we see you're kind of shifting gears. And it wasn't so much that I'm shifting gears. It was a lot of awareness to bring me back to originally why I started this channel. And because I lost scope at some point, I lost the point as to the purpose as to why I created this channel. Um, which so I'm grateful in that regard. And about 3 days ago, as I was doing my dishes in my meditative way, something told me. It could have been guides, could have been higher self, could have just been my own great consciousness saying, hey, remember, I originally started this channel to help those that are newly waking up. And for who I am, I just completely lost sight of that. I've been teaching and going through things and talking about things that are, they're simple but very broad. Simple but very profound, very maybe not there in the general language of those who are just now waking up. And with that, I I I'm coming to understand more again of where people are at. And so last week when I had my couple of videos, it was a bit I was disappointed with a few things. With just humanity. It can happen. Um, there was a lot of awareness right in my face of where humanity is at, right? And one of those aspects is online communities. I never knew anything about online communities. I'm new to this whole online world. I've never I've never even witnessed, I've never seen a game. Like, there's gamers. I've never even seen a game. I've never even been in a room where that was happening. Um, I I learned what chats were in like 2018, 19. I didn't participate until we all had more time on our hands, right? I am new to this stuff. And I knew that the world would say, hey, people will project what they want onto the screen or onto in a chat or whatnot. I just never believed it. I never believed that. I don't know why. I should have just taken it for face value of like, okay, people do that. But I was always like, why would you do that? Why would you? Um, and it very much came into my full scope as to online communities, right? Um, I do want to say in that regard, um, the patrons of Stars of the Morning Light, they they're amazing. I am realizing now with all this awareness, because I thought everybody was out there doing it, and they're not. Um, the patrons of Stars of the Morning Light, they are an amazing community of, I mean, these people meditate together, care and send love and light and prayers for one another. They share. If somebody has an excellent triumph in their life, we celebrate it. If somebody's had something tragic, we hold them close, right? We, the community is full of people with the willingness to grow and learn and expand through sharing and healing and coming together. It's literally a community. Um, I kind of took that for granted, I guess, thinking that that's what all of them were like, and they're not. They're not. And so I cheers and props and kudos and amazing stars at Stars of the Morning Light, those patrons there, they are a unique community, and it is brilliant and excellent and fascinating and glorious to watch and witness, um, because they will be, and they are now, um, they're becoming the beacon of hope for the rest of the rest. They really truly are. As individuals and as a collective group, they are becoming that beacon, and it's amazing to see. Um, so on top of really understanding that the scope of the majority is not what I thought it was, and the and just also out there in seeing how disregard a lot of people can be for a lot of things. Just in normal waking life, there could be a garbage can right here, but yet somebody's gonna throw their garbage on the ground, 3 feet away, that sort of thing. It was a week of full awareness, right, of where our where society is really at. And with that, I was very disappointed. With that, I was very disappointed with society, with the, human race, with humanity. I was just disappointed. So as I was doing the dishes, which was nice, because that's a form of meditation I do, something said, you lost scope of why you started this. And it really was for those who are just now waking up. And so we are going to talk about that aspect today. And so I'm being compelled to really just, for me, go back to the basics. Because I was getting way too far out there for those who just woke up. I was. Um, and there's going to be times in other messages and other things that as you all know me, something might be said, something might be asked in the chat, something might be read that I go way out in left field, and I will try to bring it back. I I don't have as much control over where my mind might go in the scope of teaching and studying and that sort of thing. I'm just I but for the most part, I will try to remain conscious of the fact of the purpose of this channel. And welcome to anyone who might be new. Um, that is what this channel is all about, is to help others learn, grow, share, communicate, become the beautiful humans that they are. I do believe that the reason I lose scope a lot, or why I don't see things as clearly, it's not just because I am very much more anchored into 5D than others. It's that I always was like that because when I see and speak and look about and move about in the world, I see nothing but the potential in every person, place, and thing. I've never been able to not do that. That's just, it's what I do. Um, and so I somewhat, it's a bit of rose-colored glasses, I guess you would say. And so when reality hits, I guess, well, that's actually not my reality, so I can't even say that. That's not my reality. My reality is 5D, where there's harmony and balance, and we understand these very big, broad concepts. That is my reality, right? So when I, whatever reason, come crashing back into 3D, um, it hits hard, folks. It hits hard. It hits hard. And so the last couple of videos was pushback of like, ah, I just got plummeted by 3D. Um, but here's as I was going through my notes from the Akashic over a period of time, because I also um I said that I originally said a few weeks ago that I would start sharing a bunch more as to uh I guess the word prophecies. I don't really see it that way, but that kind of thing. And then the the being hit by 3D had me change my mind on that. Right? I have to be responsible with things. So one of the things, though, as I was going back through my notes, one of them was for me, and I'll share it with you, and then one was um, for just everyone. And this must have happened quite a while ago because it says, "Welcome to 2023." Well, shoot, we've already been going through 2023 for a while. And this is what they wanted. They they said, "Welcome to 2023. To allow people to be who they are is to trust in yourself completely." And I don't remember if I covered this before or not. I really don't. But I know I've been talking about trust a lot. And it's going to go into the awakening aspect for myself. To allow people to be who they are, to be the observer, to be neutral, to allow to move through life without judgment, is to trust in yourself completely. We are all mirrors of each other, right? We're all mirrors of each other, good, bad, and different. We're all mirrors of each other. And I might not want to explain that too much. People can just bring that into themselves. But I will say, when you trust yourself completely, it is much easier to allow others to be who they are because what they do say won't doesn't affect what you do and say. So the more you're able to just be who you are because you trust yourself, then the more you can demonstrate that to others. It's lovely, and allow them to be who they are. All of our journeys are connected yet separate, singular but one. It's lovely. It's the beginning and the end. What they brought me to, um, though, for me, um, actually, before I say that, I want to talk about the awakening aspect. Um, when I interview someone for the first time on this channel, that's my first question. Oh, and I don't think I did that with Max. Oh no. I'll have to have Max remote viewing class. I'll have to have him back on because I forgot to ask him that. That was kind of during a week that I was crashing into 3D for horrible reasons, but great outcomes, right? Horrible reasons, great outcomes. Uh, but normally when I interview someone for the first time, I ask them what their personal definition of awakening is. And so, in all of these interviews that I have here, um, they're everybody gives different answers. Everyone will have a different definition as to what awakening is. Um, and it dawned on me, I don't know if I ever shared mine and what I believe awakening is, for at least me. So it might help some others, right? And why I can say, man, I lost scope. I gotta get back to the original reason. This was, oh, jeez, almost 20 years ago. Uh, I'm gonna say like probably 17, 18 years ago. I know I look great, don't I? I don't look like this would have happened 20 years ago, but it did. Um, um, yeah, this was, I think, 17, 18 years ago. Um, when I had my epiphany, wake up moment, right? My my awareness, that has been the foundation to all of my growth and healing and transformation, transmutation. Um, it is still the foundation. It completely. So at that time, I was transitioning greatly. I was getting sober. I was learning how to walk again. There was a whole lot going on, and I was releasing and healing and grieving, and I mean, for all the 20 years I had already lived, it was a lot. And I was also, even if I had no concept as to God or a God or anything outside of myself, I was doing the practices that I thought could help, and I really would do them. Cause man, I was hurting. I was hurting really bad. And so I would pray on my knees three times a day. I was really trying to heal, not having any answers, just doing the work, right? A lot of us, we feel like we need to have the the answers, the answer to what is or how or this and that before we can even just start. And I if I needed if I needed to know who God and everything was at that time to start, I would have never started. I just started getting on my knees and letting shit out. Like that's all that was happening. I was just letting it all out. Whoever's listening, whoever you are, just here you go. Um, but it was a lot of grieving, a lot of pain, a lot of things were going on. And one night I used to go to this Catholic church. I wasn't Catholic. It was down the road, and it was beautiful. It was peaceful. I mean, this was like a big like school monastery. I mean, it was big, beautiful gardens. So I mostly sat outside. It was just peaceful. I got to get away for a minute. But one night, I was actually inside and downstairs in like this little small separate room, separate chapel. I don't remember why I was or what was going on, but I was down there and I was praying. Uh, like I said, I wasn't Catholic, but it just felt good, right? Um, and I need to feel good. And I was praying and letting stuff out, and all of a sudden, more tears than I had experienced in I mean years started just pouring out of me. I mean, when you get all sort of gunked up and nasty, and it was uncontrollable sobbing, uncontrollable sobbing, all of a sudden washed over me, and I couldn't control it. I mean, I was just, it all started pouring out. To the point that I was making people that were in that room, the three or four that were in there, uncomfortable. Uh, I think everybody left except one man stayed and he sat in the back. Probably, what a good man, to be there in case, I needed anything, right? And he just sat quietly as I mean, almost that wailing of just, I mean, it was, whew. And as this is happening, as a lot is clearly being released, not on my accord, just being released, right? All of a sudden, this voice comes to me and it said, "You're going to be okay." And I kind of, what? Like I'm still sniffling, and the voice then said, keep going and just do better every day and all will be okay. And I kid you not, I was like, do better every day. Because, we put these grandiose ideas in our minds of what that is. Like, oh, I have to be perfect by tomorrow. And I kind of said that in my mind, like, better every day. And they said, just do better tomorrow and all will be okay. Which, I don't know for you all, um, but that's what I needed. I needed to know that all would be okay. Because it had never been okay. Never once. Never single day was it okay. Ever. Prior to that moment. Had it been okay. Nothing was ever okay. In my definition of okay. And I do understand we all have our own definitions of what okay means. I understand that mine, actually, at that time and even today, is very low bar compared to other people's okay. It really is. But back then, it was because when it's never okay, just a little bit okay is good. Now, it's different for me. My okay is still low barred because I'm not attached to people, places, and things of the 3D. So it makes my definition of okay different, right? It's a different definition and it can change for individuals. But at that time, that's what I needed to know. Like some being, some voice, something told me that if I just keep going down my path and try to be better from one day to the next, things will be okay. That's all I needed. That was my epiphany. That was all I needed. That's all I needed. That is the foundation still. That is still my foundation. And what I learned over time was just doing better the next day is really from moment to moment, instance to instance, which that is what life is, a series of moments, a series of instances, a beginning, middle, and end of those instances. That's what life is. And the next day, did I do better the entire day through? Maybe not. Maybe there was a moment I cussed somebody out. Maybe there was a moment I made the wrong decision. But then the next day, did I make more decisions that were a bit more positive. I woke up in the morning, I made my bed, I called a friend and asked them how they were doing instead of unloading all my drama. Whatever the little things that I did to just do better the next day. That's all I did. I wasn't doing anything profound at that time. I was just, when something would arise, how could I handle this better than I did before? I didn't have to have all the answers. I didn't have to handle it perfectly. I just had to handle it better than I did before. And everything would be okay. And inside of that okay for me is trust. Ever since that voice came, regardless of what was going on, regardless if I actually handled that situation better or not. I mean, sometimes I don't, right? But because they said everything will be okay, the amount of trust in that has been built over time is my foundation. Completely. Completely. So that is, for me, my awakening. I just needed to know things would be all right and it'd be okay. That's all I needed. And like I said, over time, there was trust in that. So I was going through, that's my awakening, folks. And that's still my awakening. That's still my awakening. Even when this whole playground of 3D is looking completely insane and catastrophic. I mean, like, it's that playground of 3D that I still have to walk around with everybody in. Um, I can rely on that. Everything's going to be okay. See? Of course, my definition and your definition is probably different. But I can rely on the fact that all is okay. Um, so bringing it back to why I started this channel, it is for those who are just now waking up. And I understand that many people in today's world, they waking up usually it happens either out of some very immediate, harsh kind of awareness that just hits you like a ton of bricks of something. Um, Pain and suffering, a great loss, possibly of some sort, and or diligent uh, study and practice of whatever spiritual aspect one wants to, um, you know, walk through. Those are the three, usually, guys, as to how that epiphany happens, how we can learn and understand, and what rattles our 3D cages, right? Into hopefully freedom. So those are the three main ones. I do understand that the majority of people in today's world, because of the online communities, all the chats, all the shows about different stuff, all the things that are out there, this is usually the platform as to how people in today's world, or more readily, this is more common. Um, and so that's what this channel was for, was to help them and help people that are. This is also though why, and I apologize if this is um, a channel that you're seeking conversations about the good, bad, and ugly as far as conspiracies and the evil ones and this and that. I do not really speak of that stuff because I understand it in a much bigger, um, much bigger scope than, and so it ends up being sounding offensive when I speak about such things, and and it's not that I don't care, it's that I see a bigger, much bigger um, concept. I see the all, and they are a part of the all as well. So, um, I just don't speak about it. It comes out offensive when I do to those who are very passionate about it because that's their first form of awareness into hopefully enlightenment and growth. So as I was going through some of my notes from the Akashic to me, right? Just personal stuff that I need. Um, I wrote this down twice, apparently. So they must have told me twice. Both times it was kind of written a little bit different, but it is still the same. It says, Courtney, do not try to figure out how to dot dot dot. Only heal without as it's presented to you. So I will explain this to you guys. When they say, Courtney, do not try to figure out how to, I rack my brain, folks. I rack my brain constantly as to what do humans need? What do I need to put out there? What do they need to know? Where are they at with things? I rack my brain as to what does society need to understand? Um, and that's what they're talking about there. Courtney, do not try to figure out how to help in that fashion, right? Only heal without as it's presented to you. So there's the heal within and then the heal without, right? The more that I am healed within, the more I can represent it as healing without. What does the without? What does humanity need as far as healing? Only heal without as it's presented to you. So that's also, don't rack your brain thinking about all the different facets of healing that humanity needs. Just do it when it's presented to you. So I went, okay, when it's presented to me. And so this is stuff that I need to remember, but this is also where kind of a shift back into my main focus as to this channel. So the healing that is presented to me, that I am trying to do at the moment. Many of those who regularly watch know that I am doing a fundraiser to help those in Maui. I have connections to people that live there that I can get money to them for whatever variation of what that family needs, right? Um, we have raised $500. And I was, ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful stars, I was not expecting much more than that. I was expecting five, I was hoping for seven. Because I was literally asking people to donate $5. Now, how that really looked is, I would say I think 12 people have donated. Some donated $5, some donated more, right? We are at, we are just shy of 500, so I will cap it off at 5. I will continue this until Saturday, Saturday or Sunday of this week, September 17th. I'll cut it off because I can't let it go forever, you know. There will be a link in this description if you want to, after this re-airs, um, uh, to donate to That is up to you. That is up to you. I do not, it is what it is, right? But that is still going on because that is the healing that was presented to me. So I do what I can, right? As far as those who are here, the healing that was presented to me is that, Courtney, go back to the basics. Go back to what it is when you first wake up. And you have to walk through the awareness, the acceptance, the resolution, the forgiveness, the letting go. What is that like? And because it became very apparent to me that that's where people are not so much at the awareness, they're at the acceptance. And that is, it's tricky. It's tricky. So I will be doing episodes about that. Just some of the basic stuff. So you can walk into the gate of higher consciousness and out of fear, anger, pride, right? You can walk out of all these low frequencies. And like I said, they told me, Courtney, do not try to figure out how to anything, really. Only heal without help others heal as it is presented to you. And it is very clear to me that it is presented that people are struggling with acceptance. Very much so. So that is going to be more of my focus for at least a week or so. I will be doing the Edgar Casey Life Skills Study, of course, and I will be, uh, doing my Friday. Friday might be, though, about this. I mean, I started going into like much broader things, hermetic, star consciousness, all these things that does not serve those who are just now waking up. So I was not really doing my job that well. I do want to say I had a realization, though, before we pick a card and I leave you with that. I had a realization the other day as I was thinking about these online communities that I'm just now experiencing in 2023, of what humanity is like behind the screen, right? So it's fascinating. It's fascinating. It is, wow, fascinating. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful stars, I am ignorant to many of things. I am. I'm very ignorant to many of things. And so when awareness comes of stuff like that, that others just generally know, they just know because I've been a part of it for so long. Please understand, it's like shock to my system. Um, because I am ignorant to stuff like that. And take this in as well, because this has been vastly overloaded, and it will be going into the end of 2023 into 2024. So I want to make this, I'm going to just say this because I'll probably have to repeat it. Ignorance is not arrogance, and arrogance is not ignorance. Same as intelligence is not consciousness, and consciousness is not intelligence. Big, big themes that we will be walking into. Um, but what I was thinking as the awareness of online communities was in the forefront of my mind, which I'm not, this is not anything against any of them. I mean, I understand the reality of what it is now, um, of what it is. I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Um, I was thinking I mean, millions and millions of people communicate on this program called Discord. And I paused and I was like, oh my gosh, The name of that is Discord. I guess people might not think of they're communicating with one another on a platform, app, whatever it may be, that is referred to as Discord. Discord means literally definition disagreement between people and or lack of harmony between the notes sounding together. Like in a music, in harmony, when we are in harmony together, it's like this beautiful symphony of life. Discord messes those notes up. Discord is disagreement between people. And so I like that hit me, and I was like, no one's ever thought about that? That they're choosing to talk on a platform that by by the law of word is just going to cause more disagreement. I didn't. So I'm telling you, when I get hit with stuff, I get hit with I get hit with the awareness. I get hit. Um, so I found that interesting. I mean, millions of people communicate on something that is entitled for them to disagree with each other, to not be in harmony together. That is the pursuit. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I found that fascinating. I just, because I didn't even know about that thing until like a year ago. And I see Jargo, I love you too, my dear. I love you too. Thank you for coming in. Let's pick a card, sacred geometry card together, everyone. Um, and it'll be the message for us. My deck's making me work, guys. Maybe you all are, maybe everybody, wow, jeez, what is going on here? Whoop, boop, 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 boop. No, that's not it. That is for me. For them, deck. For them. For them. There we go. Okay, for them. For you. For all of us. Number 19, delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. That can be the mirror that we present. And I want to tell all of you, you are delightful. I started doing that years ago. Telling people that they were delightful, it changes their frequency in like a moment. Because it's not used enough, delight. And look how bright that shines, folks. That's the beautiful stars that you are. Definitely. I'll read it one more time. Delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. That's lovely. Well, thank you everyone who did listen. I appreciate you all. That is the update about Maui. I'm going to run it to the end of this weekend. Sunday what is that, the 17th? Yes. Um, so far we have done about $500, which is what I assumed. I was hoping for 7, so we have a little bit of a week that we can, maybe more can come in. That's the thing. I mean, if 20 people watched this episode and clicked the link and donated $5, that's another 100. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I understand how all is connected and how we're all, um, a little can go a long way when it is everyone doing a little. So, go have a lovely day, and thank you for listening. Um, you guys, you're amazing. Oh, and thank you, Carolina. Is that the name? I'm sorry that it kind of pops in and out. Hello, Lori. Um, and if you are new here, this is a lovely community. Um, and spread the joy. Go be the beautiful light. If you feel in the moment that you might not be shining as bright, that's still okay. Go find another light to reflect off of each other, you know? So, namaste to you all. I bow to you. I bow to the divine in you because you are so divine. Bye, guys.